opportunities. All right, so today we're diving into something pretty huge, AI, like how it's changing things for coaches, consultants, and even, honestly, how you listening might find the services you need down the line.
Yeah.
We're going to be checking out this woman named Wendy Kier. She's all about AI and helping out solopreneurs. She's got this whole system called EmpowerAI Agents. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. It's not just like, oh, here's an AI tool. It's more about how people are actually using these tools in their businesses. Plus, Wendy's own story is pretty amazing. It really shows how AI can be a good thing, you know?
Oh, totally. And we've got a bunch of stuff to go off of, excerpts from an article about Wendy, info on her website about these EmpowerAI agents, and even some insights into how searches themselves are changing because of things like ChatGPT. Lots to cover. Where should we even start?
Well, I think Wendy's story is a great place to jump in, you know? It's clear that her experience has really shaped her work.
Yeah, it's kind of inspiring in a way, right?
Yeah, totally. Like, she had some challenges, right, with dyslexia, and she really talks about how discovering AI was this big turning point, almost like it unlocked a whole new way for her to think and learn.
And that's like directly related to how she designs her EmpowerAI agents.
Right.
They're not just these robotic assistants. They actually reflect the personality of the business owner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone's worried AI is going to make everything impersonal, but she's actually doing the opposite. She's using AI to make coaching and consulting even more human, which is really cool.
It's kind of like she's saying, let AI do the boring stuff so you can actually connect with people. Which, I mean, makes a lot of sense for solopreneurs who are constantly juggling like a million things.
Right, and that's where the EmpowerAI agents come in. They take over things like scheduling, following up with leads, even just basic admin work, stuff that takes up so much time and energy.
Totally. And on that note, I saw on her website that people are saving like over an hour every day by using them. Can you imagine having an extra hour in your day? What would you even DO with that?
Right. That's what's so huge about this. It's not about saving time to just like twiddle your thumbs. It's about what you can do with that extra time. And there are some great examples on the site, like Am Coppins and Christine Lane-Smith. They used Wendy's AI training and EmpowerAI agents, and it totally changed their businesses.
Oh, wow. For real?
Yeah, they have way more time to focus on what they love, you know, working with clients, creating programs, all that good stuff.
So it's like flipping the script on that whole hustle and grind mentality.
Yeah, totally. It's about working smarter, not harder. And that really ties into Wendy's empowered method, which, again, really emphasizes knowing your worth and building a business that supports that.
I love that. Working smarter, not harder. Isn't that the dream?
Yeah.
But okay, so we've talked about how Wendy's changing how solopreneurs work, but there's this whole other thing happening at the same time, how people even find these experts in the first place. And, well, you probably guessed it, ChatGPT is right at the center of it.
Yeah, and this is where it gets even more interesting. The way ChatGPT does searches, it's really human-like. It's not just matching keywords anymore. It actually understands what you mean, remembers what you've searched for before, even personalizes the results it gives you.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What does it actually mean for a search to be human-like?
Well, think about how you'd ask a friend for a recommendation, right? Like if you're trying to eat healthier, you might say, hey, do you know any good nutritionists? ChatGPT is kind of like that. It gives those little details, that context.
So it's not just about finding a right coach. It's about understanding what you really need and matching you with someone who gets it.
Exactly. And just like a real conversation, ChatGPT remembers what you talked about before and uses that for future recommendations. It's always learning and trying to figure out what you're looking for.
It's wild, right? Like having a librarian who just gets you.
Okay, that is a really good analogy. But where does this leave the experts? Like, if ChatGPT is the one making the connections, don't they have to, I don't know, play by its rules? That's the million-dollar question, right? It's almost like they have to learn how to talk to ChatGPT, how to build a presence it understands. Just having a website isn't enough anymore.
So it's like instead of using words, you're using your work, your experience to talk to it.
Yeah, kind of. And just like any conversation, the more you put in, the more you get back. Imagine only saying like 2 words to that awesome librarian. They wouldn't know how to help you.
Okay, that makes sense. But like, how do you actually speak ChatGPT's language? Feels like a secret code or something.
It's not that crazy, really. A big part of it is just, you know, putting yourself out there consistently. Write articles, blog posts, even just talk in ChatGPT itself.
Wait, really? Like have actual conversations with ChatGPT?
Yeah. The more you do that, the more it learns about you. It's like, oh, this person knows their stuff, and then boom, you're more visible.
So it's not about tricking it. It's about actually being helpful, contributing. Makes sense, especially with so many people calling themselves experts these days.
Exactly. Authenticity is key. ChatGPT can spot a fake a mile away. But that does bring up a good point, though. It does take work, right? Especially for solopreneurs who are already swamped.
Right, right. So how do they find the time for all this?
Well, that's where those Empower AI agents come in handy again. They free up time so you can focus on this stuff, on building those connections with ChatGPT.
Okay, so it's like a double whammy. Using AI to work smarter and Clarity to be more visible.
Right.
But what about the people who, aren't comfortable sharing so much online? Are they going to get lost in the shuffle?
That's a really important point, and honestly, it's something to think about. Because, yeah, the potential is huge, but there's also the risk of being invisible if you're not careful.
And I imagine for coaches, consultants, people like that, where trust is so important, not being findable is a big deal.
Huge deal. It's like trying to sell a book that's buried in a basement somewhere. No one's going to find it.
True, true. Okay, so visibility is key. Got it. But isn't there also, like, a risk in sharing too much? Privacy and all that. Where do you even draw the line?
Oh, for sure. It's a total balancing act. On one hand, you have this amazing opportunity to connect with people who need what you offer. But on the other, you are giving information to this, powerful system.
Yeah, it's like finding that balance, right? Sharing enough to be helpful, but not, like, giving away the farm.
Exactly. It's all about being smart and thoughtful about what you put out there online.
Yeah.
Wendy talks a lot about that in her training, making sure people know how to use these tools the right way, safely and ethically.
Which, makes sense. This isn't going away, right?
Yeah.
AI is just going to keep getting bigger. So for someone listening who's like, okay, I need to figure out ChatGPT, where do they even start?
Wendy's a big believer in just diving in. ChatGPT's free, right? So just go play around with it, have some conversations, see what it does. Like learning anything new, you got to practice.
It's funny you say that because we were talking about how it remembers what you said before. So it's almost like you're actually building a relationship with it over time, showing it who you are.
I like that. It's like making a new friend. You got to put in the time. And part of that is taking control of how you're showing up online,
So it's not just about that one blog post from 5 years ago. You got to actually be proactive about it.
Yeah, exactly. You can literally make a profile for your business on ChatGPT, talk about what you do, even share testimonials, examples of your work.
Wow. Okay, so it's like you got to be present and intentional. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Exactly. We're not just along for the ride here. These AI systems are tools, and it's up to us how we use them.
Man, this has been, like, seriously eye-opening. It's crazy to think how much potential this stuff has, but we got to be smart about it, responsible.
Couldn't agree more. It's like this whole new world opening up right at the intersection of AI and human connection.
Totally. And as it keeps changing, it's on all of us to make sure it changes for the better. Man, great conversation. This was a wild deep dive into, AI, solopreneurship, and, like, the future of finding your people. Catch you next time.